In 2003, a trauma psychiatrist walked into an elephant sanctuary in Tennessee and walked out having diagnosed the elephants with PTSD. Not metaphorically, not as a rough comparison, an actual clinical diagnosis, the same one given to combat veterans and survivors of violence. The psychiatrist's name was Gay Bradshaw, and her research became one of the first formal studies to argue that non-human animals could suffer complex trauma disorders identical to our own. These elephants had watched their mothers and sisters shot during population culls. Calves as young as 2 had been dragged away from dying herds, loaded onto trucks, and shipped off alone. Decades later, keepers noticed the same elephants reacting to a slammed door the way a soldier reacts to a car backfiring. Full-body flinch, sudden aggression, a stampede toward nothing at all. Elephant researchers started calling it something specific: the breakdown of elephant society. Herds that once passed down decades of learned behavior, how to raise a calf, how to grieve, how to stay calm under stress, were now raising orphans who had never been taught any of it. So the orphans grew into unpredictable adults, more aggressive, more reactive, more likely to attack without an obvious trigger. Here's the part that should stop you. The brain circuitry involved is almost identical to ours. The amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for detecting threats, stays stuck in the on position after trauma, in elephants and in humans. Cortisol floods the system in both species long after the actual danger has passed. The nervous system doesn't know the difference between a war zone and a memory of one. It just knows something here felt like death, and it's not taking any chances again. In humans, we call it hypervigilance, flinching at raised voices, scanning a room for exits, reading danger into a normal tone of voice. In elephants, researchers documented nearly identical patterns: increased startle response, disrupted sleep, and unprovoked aggression toward other elephants and even vehicles. So when a person you know reacts to something small with an explosion that seems way too big, that's not always a character flaw. Sometimes it's an elephant flinching at a slammed door 20 years later. Think about the friend who goes silent the second a conversation gets tense, the partner who explodes over a dish left in the sink, the coworker who seems to brace for an attack that never comes. We call them too sensitive, dramatic, hard to deal with. Rarely do we ask what taught their nervous system to expect danger in the first place. We love to label people: difficult, cold, explosive, closed off. But underneath almost every one of those labels is a nervous system that learned at some point that the world wasn't safe and never got the memo that things changed. Here's what actually helped the traumatized elephants. Not punishment, not isolation, not forcing them to behave. What healed them was time, spent next to something steady. Sanctuaries started pairing traumatized young elephants with older, calmer matriarchs, elephants who had somehow held on to their own stability despite everything. These older elephants didn't lecture the young ones. They didn't demand explanations. They simply stayed close, day after day. Through the outbursts, through the flinching, through years of a nervous system slowly learning that this particular presence wasn't going anywhere. And it worked. Elephants who had been aggressive for over a decade began to calm, not overnight, but across years of consistent, patient closeness. Their behavior didn't change because someone corrected them. It changed because someone stayed. Humans work almost exactly the same way. You cannot argue a nervous system out of hypervigilance. You cannot shame someone out of a trauma response. The only thing that has ever consistently rewired a threatened nervous system, in elephants, in humans, in every social mammal we've studied, is repeated, reliable safety, delivered by someone who doesn't leave when things get loud. So the next time someone's anger looks like a wall, remember this: sometimes a wall isn't cruelty. Sometimes it's just a nervous system still guarding a door that closed years ago. And the bravest thing anyone ever did for a broken elephant wasn't fixing it. It was simply not leaving.